Breakin Ballz with Johnny P.
What are you breaking my balls for? All right, it's about that time for another episode of Breakin Ballz with Johnny P. I'm your host, and how's everybody doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe and like it, and check us out. Joining me tonight, Lou Martini is he's sick tonight, so he's home. He's home tonight. So we got Garry the Captain Pastore sitting on the right of me. What's up, Garry?
Hello there, Master Disaster.
That's it, man.
How are you, pal?
I'm doing good. You're doing good. You're looking pretty dapper. You got a nice shirt there. Would you buy that?
No, somebody gave it to me. This is called swag.
Oh, that's right. We got the Breakin Ballz.
Get away from the
Swaggy.
microphone, though. Move
We got
away.
the Breakin
Can't
Ballz.
see it behind the mic.
You can't see it?
No.
I got the Breakin Ballz Swaggerino. If you'd like one, contact Johnny P. And you can have one.
Well,
For
since
a
we're at
nominal
it.
fee.
Yeah, that's it. It's $20 and shipping and handling. But anyway, we should have talked about that later. But sitting on my left, we got Mrs. Concetta
I'm not a
Rella.
Mrs.
What's going on there?
Wow.
Always good to be with the vicar of vocabulary. That's for you, Lou.
I like it, baby.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Very good. So what's going on? What's happening?
You know,
Before I
living
bring in our
life.
first guest.
The snow is driving me mental. Okay, I have some balls to break. Can we please just make like the schoolyard rule of, same seats on the bus? If you did not shovel out the space, do not park there overnight.
Exactly. I
It's
hate
so
people
easy
who do
and
that.
so simple.
What I don't even understand the gall.
It's
There's a word called gall.
Because
I understand people want to park in front of your house in the summertime.
Yeah,
If there's
whatever,
a spot,
right?
whatever. But if you dig out a spot and some mau goes and parks in your spot,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that's a fight in my neighborhood.
They're doing that all over my neighborhood, too. It's crazy.
Everywhere.
It's
Like
bad.
that everywhere. And because they didn't there's nowhere to put the snow. We get it,
Yep.
right? But there's no spots left either. So
I know
when
that.
you pull
In Staten,
out
Italy, forget about it.
and
You're
you
like
gotta
this.
park, you just understand
Like
that
this.
you're not staying there. Just don't stay there. Go home.
I had an argument with two people who live around the corner from me. They're both parked in front of my house, and they haven't moved in 10 days. I finally
10 days.
got them today. I go, oh, there they are. I go, what are you on vacation? We can park here anytime we want. I go, yeah, but you got to share. I told you when you first came here, you park up the block, park here, park there. You don't park in front of my house all the time. Park in front of someone else's house.
What happened to the lady, the matron that does that? The one that, wants you.
That,
That you got the parking spot from because you did the right thing.
no, but she's
took one for the
they
team.
just fired her, actually.
They did?
Yeah.
That's your fault.
No, they got a whole new company that's in there
All
that's
that
running the
work.
I'm only there
Put in some
temporarily.
work, but that's
I'm
all
just
lady.
passing through where I'm at right now. A place
Look at
to
him,
run
so
the
bad.
office and to rest my head. But anyway,
And that's another thing. I get yelled at in 3 different parking lots by 3 different parking lot warriors
Yes.
who had no business telling me I couldn't park on top of snow. If that's the only space, that's where I'm going. Like,
You can
period.
park on snow.
now that you
I
hang
think
out
that's
with
3
us, you're
times,
always
3
going to be
times.
getting into some kind of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't even with you guys when this happened.
But you know what? We got a really great special guest. He's a good friend of mine. We go back a long way, and he's been on my late night. He's been on my up late show. He's a Staten Islander. He's a film director and a producer, and he's making some heat wave. So he's here tonight. We got Mike Levy. Mike, what's up, buddy?
It's great to be here. Great to be here with you guys.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Welcome.
It's a different environment now,
Yeah.
so I'm liking it. I'm digging it.
You dress exactly like a film director. You fit
He's
the role.
matching. That's
good. It
You
fits
pert
the
the
bill.
role, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, very, very, very good.
More like an AD.
Right, well,
He
I do that
reminds
too.
me of a modern day Ron Howard, but with hair. you
Right,
know?
right.
And you're better looking.
No, I appreciate that, Johnny.
Not getting a plot, John. Still not getting a plot.
He's trying, though.
He's trying.
I know.
He's on number 3, and you haven't been called. So listen, I just let you know.
It's
It's
all
looking
good.
a little slim.
Little slip Mahoney. So what's going on? You got a lot of stuff. Now, talk about, just tell everybody out there, just a little background. We know, but some of us don't. Fill us in what's going on and let us know what the new projects are. I know you got some stuff coming out.
Yeah, for sure. So we just wrapped. It came out last year, Terrifier 3, which is the big
Unbelievable.
horror movie that we did, the clown movie. We've been shooting a lot of that, all of them, a lot of it really mostly on Staten Island. It's been a blessing to be a part of that franchise and to see it from the ground up. The first movie we did for $30,000. I had a small little role in it.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to be smart enough to say, hey, I just died in it. I'm going to stick around and produce the rest of these things.
Yeah.
And it's been great. I'm doing it with really good group of people that have become my best friends. You know, and then we did another film that I directed called Stream, and that's really been hitting the ground running with our same Terrifier crew. We got a great cast of horror icons that are a part of it. We had a theatrical run last summer, and now we're getting ready to do the sequel. And we are writing it with Brian Quinn from the Impractical Jokers and his writing partner Joan Bergio from the show.
Right.
And they got the movie immediately. They saw it, they really loved it.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, so we were kind of kicking around ideas, and I said, you know, we're getting ready to do a sequel. Would you be interested in taking a crack at writing it? And they were, yeah, like super excited.
Oh, that's great.
And so they just sent in. We're up to the 3rd draft now, and it's really, really a lot of fun. We're up in the ante. We're up in the gore. We're up in everything. So it's a blast. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Anything for like a 60-year-old?
Yeah, potentially. Maybe you guys got to duke it out.
We need a couple of gangs.
Stuff.
We could
Get a little bit of here.
We could be the gangsters that get whacked.
And I hear, well, maybe somebody does their own stunt work. I know over the years now.
I can roll around a little bit.
As long as you got insurance.
Listen, have a cup and take it easy. I can only do a little bit.
Right.
Padding nowadays, but
So I mean, you know, we're rocking and rolling with that, which is really, we got a really dynamite fan base.
Yeah,
and,
you do.
And
You do.
we're you know, they followed us around for a long time, and you know, we just try not to let them down.
Let me interrupt you, and then they could all ask you questions. Tell us the story, how that Terrifier 2 just blew up, and the cash that came in, and how big it got.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, we shot it it was right before COVID. And then we got shut down, actually, like everything.
Yep.
yeah.
And, you know, there was a huge hiatus. And then I think a lot of it, obviously, it's a whole bunch of things. We had a really cool character. We had a fan base built in. Damien Leone, really, and he's the director. He really understands his fan base. He had this great, cool character with Art the Clown. But I think there's a lot of timing that works into that, too, because now COVID hits. There's no movies coming out. There's no movie shot. And we were almost there. So we finished. And then we come out, and then all of a sudden we start climbing up the charts, and people are going to see this movie. And again, this was our fan base that showed up that first weekend. We were only supposed to be there like 3 days. And then all of a sudden it was like we made $500,000 in the box office, and we get extended. And then we get extended, and we get extended, and then $15 million later, we knock out what was it? It was the top movie in the top 10 for like ever. It was the Tom Cruise movie, the
Mission Impossible?
No, the other one,
Top Gun?
Top Gun. We knocked Top Gun out of the top 10.
Yeah, that's sick, though.
Which was, but in all fairness, Top Gun was playing for 6 months. But it was 6 months in the top 10, and then we snuck in and knocked it
And
out.
what is it? The true, was it 300 or 500,000 you put into that movie? How much was
The
it?
second was 250,000. Was the
Okay.
second movie, yeah.
Wow.
That's
then-
great, though.
Yeah, and then it blew up. But then, you know, we go and do the third movie, and we figured, okay, if we get, you know, a little more, we'll be all right. You know, we did that movie for a little bit bigger. It was like a $3 million budget, somewhere around there, 2.5 million. I can't remember exactly.
Right.
And then it made like 100 million in the box office.
Wow.
It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That is
Crazy.
amazing.
It's all the
And
fans.
you self-distributed it,
Yeah,
which
we
is brilliant.
yeah,
So where's the mansion?
yeah. Well, I don't have one, but it's coming. It's coming. Yeah.
That is amazing. So wait, so let's backtrack a little bit though. You have loads of horror films under your belt there. So is this something that when you started making films was always going to be like your main genre, or did you kind of fall into it? Or
I had a love. I always had a love for horror and comedy, and
Yeah.
I did a lot of comedy growing up. I did a lot of improv actually growing up, and it was always kind of bouncing back and forth between the two. And my first film was a horror comedy called Abnormal Attraction. I worked with Gilbert Gottfried and Malcolm McDowell,
Oh,
Greg Lloyd,
wow.
mutual friend. Yeah, we had a great cast. Vic DiPotetto was in it. So, you know, it was really, really cool. Bruce Davison, Leslie Easterbrook, the cop from Police Academy.
Yeah.
But it was comedy, but there was a lot of horror that was there. So I always had the love for the two.
They go neck and neck.
They do.
Yeah, they
And, you know,
do.
there's beats to a joke, and
You
then
need
there's
both.
beats to a scare.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're just on two ends of the spectrum, but it's the same kind of timing that gets you there. So, you know, it was just so happened that then we did a horror movie, and that really kind of popped and took off for us. So that's kind of where we are right now. But I've always been a horror fan. That really stems from my mother and my grandfather. I can remember I got into horror through Leprechaun. I'm a huge Leprechaun fan, which I know not many people say.
wonder why. Is it because
Might
your
be
last
my
name-
Irish.
Your Irish roots.
Yeah. So I got in. I think I saw it at the right age.
Yeah.
And that kind of kicked it off. And then I got into Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
It
what
just
was your
kinda-
first
Sure.
real horror movie that you like? Halloween?
Halloween probably was my first, and then I saw Nightmare right after.
What about
and
going
then,
back into like the
Stephen
early
King's
70s? Were you like a
Yeah.
Exorcist or The Omen or anything?
Yeah, I saw those later.
Later.
Believe it or not. Yeah, I was still a kid, but I saw them later. It was like the slasher stuff because it was right out of the '80s that was popular. So I saw a lot of those early on, and then I think that's kind of where my mind was going. For
I seen them when I was a kid with my father. I was terrified. The Omen was scary.
Yeah,
It's 10 years old. I saw that.
Omen was great.
10 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, my father.
the supernatural stuff. There's something about it. Like the slashers are fun. But the supernatural stuff, or the stuff that you can't sleep at night, like I thought The Conjuring was like one of the best horror movies to come out. You know, within at that point, it was like within 15 years, like it was incredible. And
I
then
was just going to ask you, what's your favorite horror movie?
my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, I love the original Halloween. You know,
Okay, yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I
you
love
can't beat that.
Tim Curry in the
It.
original miniseries. It.
Yeah.
Obviously Robert Englund and Freddy Krueger. So it's hard
Yeah.
to pick. It's just
Yeah,
hard
for
to pick
sure.
my favorite comedy as well. You know, my
But that
cousin
does-
Vinny. I
That
don't
does
know.
explain the clowns, because the clowns, I think, are both horrifying and are known to be humorous, right? So, I mean, that's
that's
a great.
what we really tapped into. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And when we did our Staten Island clown publicity stunt,
That was you, huh?
Yeah,
That was us,
now-
What year was that?
2014.
14.
This is nuts.
Okay,
This is nuts.
I got a little thing to talk to you about with that.
Okay.
I hate clowns.
A lot of people do. I
The
like
reason
clowns.
I do is because I used to watch Bozo the Clown when I was a kid. That's how old I am. And my mother took me to see, allegedly, Bozo. So
Oh,
I
she
went
did?
and I sat on this creep's lap.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he was like rubbing his leg and shit on me.
No,
He
she
was
didn't
a
see-
real,
He liked you.
He was a real
No.
creepy
She
clown.
didn't see it.
And I
Bozo.
started crying.
She took him to see Bono.
Yeah, exactly. So I started crying, and ever since then, I've had this thing about clowns. So I always said, if one of your clowns ever popped out of the woods, I was going to knock him out. Absolutely knock him the fuck out.
But see that there's very strong feelings to clowns, and that's what we learned in 2014, and that's why we put that clown out there, because you can kind of let everyone else do the publicity for you and the marketing for you. They're going to argue this clown is funny, this clown is cool, oh this clown is silly and stupid, oh I hate clowns, I'm petrified.
Yeah.
And then the lore kind of just grew, so it was a perfect thing that we ended up.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
It was a
how
great
did you-
promotional
yeah,
scam,
how did you
for sure.
come up with that? Like, what? How did you come
Very
up with
drunk
that?
night at Buffalo Wild Wings. Truth.
Is it really?
Me and my brother,
Brilliant.
we were sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings. We were having a couple of pints too many, and we wanted to do something to change the narrative. That's how it started. It was almost like a social experiment where we said, why don't we put something out there and see if we can change the narrative? And that at that time there was like the Malaysian airline thing was going on, or then there was a lot of, obviously we live on Staten Island, a lot of drug overdoses and things. So we were like, can we change that whole narrative and have some fun with this? And we kept going back and forth with what we were going to put out there. We were talking about Grim Reaper, we were talking about a Sasquatch, and finally it just made sense. Clowns, because they're so controversial.
Yeah.
And they could be really, really creepy.
But
if
he was
done
a
right.
creepy clown.
Yeah. And you know what it is, though? What's great, and this is why we also came forward when we did. Part of it was it was a few different things. One was a marketing, obviously, experiment, a social experiment. One was also we were trying to get on the map, get known. We were getting ready to do our first feature film, Abnormal Attraction. So we want to get our production company on the map. But we also didn't realize we didn't understand how viral, you know what I mean? You hear viral, but you don't really know what that is until you experience it. Like we thought maybe 3 months. This thing was 3 days and it exploded. And it was like, now we're like,
That's something you didn't even
Wow.
expect.
no,
coming.
we didn't expect that, you know, at all. But we just figured we'd put something out there. It'd be pretty cool, change the narrative, kind of this social experiment, a little bit of marketing, and we'll see where it goes. But the key was, and this is what I was trying to get to at before, we made sure that our clown wasn't threatening with a knife. Because as soon as you do something like that, now you're telling the audience, okay, this is a killer clown.
Right.
Yes.
And now you're also taking it to a different level.
Yeah.
We just had a balloon, and now they can theorize and they can talk and say, well, what is going on with this clown? Why is he there?
fucking
Why is he
weirdo,
looking
yeah.
at me?
Yeah.
Is he weirdo? Is he mentally, whatever? And so I think that lore and that curiosity, because there was no direct threat,
Yeah.
it just kind of grew. And then we came out with it a little earlier than we'd wanted to, because there was a lot of copycats out there that were chasing people around with chainsaws and knives and all
Now
these things.
it was before you, right? Did he write that before you came out with?
Terrifier you're talking
Terrifier?
about?
Yeah.
So no, Terrifier. Well, there was a short film, All Hallows Eve, that clown, Art the Clown, was involved in. But again, he just did like few different showcases of what he can do, and Art was one of them, and the audience started latching on to him. So,
It did very well.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be honest.
but there was
with you.
no feature, obviously.
I have not
Yeah.
watched any of the clown movies. I haven't watched yours. I'm sorry,
I gotta say-
and I haven't watched it.
You gotta watch it, but don't watch it with the little kids. I gotta say,
It's gory.
and I couldn't believe how gory that was. I was like, oh,
It's
whoa.
gory, yeah.
That looked really.
Remember Maniac?
Yeah.
There was a guy on Staten Island who did this film Maniac when we were. It was around the time of Son of Sam.
Brutal.
It came out. Yeah, and the guy was. They shot the whole thing on Staten Island. About, I guess he was a serial killer. Was he? Yeah, it was. It was nuts.
Maniac,
so Staten
Maniac
Island has this stigma with the slasher films.
Brutal, but there's like a scene with the chainsaw, like they went right through the middle of the girl, like.
Yeah, Damien
I was
is
like,
he's a great effects guy, so
Yeah.
Oh, you
he
use
wanted to
Damien?
showcase.
I know him.
Yeah, he
Damien-
wanted to showcase his effects, and
And the effects were great.
and he learned it from watching tapes from Tom Savini, like back in the day. He would study, and so yeah.
So that's interesting. Is it everything like I don't know what the word would be, like practical, or
All
is
practical,
it,
no
yeah.
VFX.
Wow.
No that's something we pride ourselves on. Everything's
That is
practical. It's very like
amazing.
80s,
That's so
70s kind
creative,
of style.
yeah.
Obviously in this day and age, there's a few little things you might, if there's a Y or something, you erase it. But there's no, like when you watch the It movies, the Stephen King's It or the Welcome to Derry, that's a lot of that is CGI nowadays.
Yeah.
We do everything practically, which is part of the.
So
Yeah,
of
and
the-
I really
you know,
don't
my
like
charm.
Bravo.
we love that.
Are you a
Bravo.
fan of
That makes me
CGI
happy.
or not really?
No, I didn't. I
Me
didn't. I don't.
neither.
I like it. I like it as a tool, but not to replace.
Yes.
There's just something about the charm with the practical effects that you just can't beat. You know what I mean? And again, it's the same stuff that's going on with AI. Everyone's trying to replace with AI. It's not about replacing. It's
Yeah.
about using it as a tool to enhance. If you replace,
Yeah, no, you
then
don't
what
want to.
do you have? There's no soul.
Amen.
That's what's
Amen.
happening.
Let me ask
though.
you a question. Okay, so I have a big issue with AI. Because I think it's going to replace crew members.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be able to do set dressing with AI. It's going to replace actors, or can, if we're not careful. So I do have a big problem with it. Where I wouldn't have a problem with it is if you have to do an army, like in the background, and you have to have 10 or 20,000, like when you see these. I've been watching these biblical shows, and I just watched House of David, which was great, by the way.
Yeah.
And it showed, massive amounts of people. I can accept that. Like if you in a
You
stadium,
need 10,000 people,
yeah.
20,000
Instead of
people.
putting flat people, I'll deal with that because it's very hard to get 10,000 extras anyway.
When we did the movie Screamboat, we just shot that on Pete Davidson's boat and Colin Joe's boat. It was a comedy.
Finally, somebody
comedy.
did something.
Yo,
on
so
the
when
boat.
was this?
So this was
That's hysterical.
This came out last year in theaters. We shot it really fast, like right after Terrifier 3. We went right into this. It's a comedy horror. It's very silly. It's kind of poking fun at Steamboat Willie and all of that. And we shot it on the boat, but we needed extras, and this is so low budget. So we used the production designer came up with this blow up dolls with wigs in the background out of focus. Oh my god, it was great!
Really?
And then, someone's on
You
the
mean
floor
sex dolls?
and they're moving them just so their head kind of turns a little bit because they're out of focus in the back.
That is hilarious.
It was brilliant. I
That
said,
was
"This
a
is
great
incredible."
story.
It was like one of the greatest
Did
things
you
that I've
go
ever
behind the
seen.
scenes?
There is a documentary that just came
that's
out about it,
brilliant.
and it was absolutely wild. But it was a great idea. But to your point with AI, now I think it's okay or good for.
Certain
Again,
things.
in certain things, like maybe you're trying to put together a treatment or something to show a concept of, hey, this is what it can be. And you come up with the idea and you show someone and say, this is what it can be. And you're utilizing it in a way that just showcases what you want to actually do with real crew members and real talented
But
artists
you're
and real
a
stuff.
writer. You think it's fair you take your idea and put it in Chat GBT
No,
and
no.
somebody makes a script?
No, not at all.
But these are the things
Yeah.
that
That's what they're doing.
These are the things that are going
I know.
on that are bothering us because we're going to be obliterated out of the business.
No,
at
there has
some
to be.
point.
You
That-
have to have red tape around it. You
that-
have to do a lot of stopping with that.
And
I
guys,
have-
And you can't have, again, there's no soul in what AI is doing. At least,
Yeah.
right now, you read it, it's just so.
That's
it's-
my theory with that is that we have the soul, as you're saying, right? We have the soul, so we're putting it into the robots or the AI.
Do you-
We're putting it in there. So if we don't put it in there, and they're not manufacturing.
Dude,
they're
they
not
have
creating, they're just taking
OnlyFans.
what we've already
They have
given them.
girls in OnlyFans
Yes.
that are
This
made
is the
up.
terrifying
It's
bit
pathetic.
of it.
That's
is that
terrifying
you can't
to
tell.
me.
It's so good now
Yeah.
that you can't
No,
you
it's
can't
wild.
tell.
But
But
you
we're
know-
still programming
Sorry.
it. It's not like doing it by itself. It's
Let
not
me
like a
interrupt you
calculator.
too.
Go ahead.
It's with music too.
Yeah.
I know people that were not even musicians, and they go,
Right.
"Oh, I got a new song
Right,
out."
I
I'm
heard
like, I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but I'm like, you sang, you wrote this and that.
Oh, I know,
they
it's
wrote
crazy.
some lyrics.
It's crazy.
They
Yeah.
put it in the thing,
Yeah.
and they spit out hit the
Music.
words into a song, and then you can actually copyright it and put it on iTunes. It's like,
No, it's wild. And
Yeah.
look, the problem is with it too. Is at first it's like it's fun and games, like, oh, this is cool and how, but then it starts replacing
Yeah.
and it starts.
That's what I'm
and,
talking
and that's
about.
the problem.
And that's the
when
problem.
when I say you know utilize it as a tool, I'm saying like we do with CGI. You have to create it yourself. You have to hire the right people. You have to write it yourself. It needs to be all human made, and then you can utilize this to say, okay, how do we fine tune or whatever? You know, I think, and this is a conversation I had with Damien Leone, which is, I think it was a brilliant thing on his end to, you know, eventually there probably will be AI movies and human movies, and you have to decide which one to go to. And the human movies might be more money that you're going to the theater to see because they're going to they cost so much more to make.
Yeah.
And but what are people going to do? I'll pay the $2 to go see this AI movie versus the $30 to see. That's going to be a really scary time to live in.
And I knew the movie
Yeah.
theaters were going to come back, even though everyone said they were going to be dead after that. I knew eventually that people will
People
come
love
back
the
to the movie.
movies.
Well, I have a theory about movie theaters too.
With the
Guys like
bathrooms?
us. Well, no, I'm an independent filmmaker.
Yeah.
All right, I want to make movies for this, basically the small screen. I write films in the $1.5 million budget and under, because I know I have a better chance of having an ROI, paying back the investor, and getting it shown. You know, on Netflix or whatever the streaming channels are.
Amazon.
And you know, you still need an actor in there that has a name.
Yeah.
But you have to have a script, and you have to have, you know, a good cast. You have to have a good cast.
That's everything.
Yeah.
And talent, and you have to have good writing. But I love the independent filmmaking part.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it replaced by this nonsense. You know, as I feel right now, I'd rather do indies the rest of my life. I've done big studio
Yeah.
films. And
What's good is I think the
it's more
audience.
family.
It is.
also.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just a different world, you know. And luckily, I've kind of been within that for a long time. And what I've noticed though is that the audience is very smart, and they're seeing it. There's a reason why they're kind of gravitating now to movies like Terrifier and Stream and these lower budget independent movies, because they see the passion that goes into
Yeah.
it, and you're getting the most creative stories out of it. A lot of times, the studios now and the studio system, they're going with what's safe, what's been tried and true before,
Yeah.
regurgitating it and spitting it out. How many times can we see the same story just slightly different?
And Mike,
Right.
technically,
They're afraid to take the risks.
Halloween back in the day, because they
was
put,
independent.
they put independent, but they put a lot of money independent. Even the Warriors technically was an independent, but that what they said, it was they had $5 million for
Yeah,
that
but
movie.
you know what it is? Independent.
That was a lot of money back then.
No
Right.
kidding.
And
That's,
in- and
that's like 30.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money back then.
So
yeah.
independent doesn't mean no money or low budget, right? That's a different term for, and a lot of people get confused with that. Audiences do. All independent means is just independent of a studio system over it.
Yeah.
So there's no Warner Brothers, there's no Universals, there's no Disney
They
or
can buy
whatever.
it.
They could
Right.
buy it, which
Right.
they've
They
done with
buy it, and
Paranormal
they always
Activity.
do.
Right,
Yeah.
if it's good, but. That's the thing, is that you could make a $100 million independent movie.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the money comes from a private investor or whatever, you know.
You won't have the mucky mucks with the suits coming
Right.
down
Right.
With their
and
notes.
sitting in their chairs.
Yeah, that's more
with their
fun
notes
anyway. You know what
and
I
saying
mean?
what's going on here.
To be in a situation where you can just hire your whole team and get the people that you like in there. Johnny P, what are you doing?
No, we do a sign language. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine. You don't have to apologize. So on the other side of the table, the other part being like social media presence, how much does that play into casting decisions or project
Yeah,
choices?
it's huge, you know, because everything now lives through the internet. Everything is marketing, and everything's so oversaturated, it's hard to break through. So you have to come up with creative ways to push your project forward for people to see it and get eyes on it. So there's a lot, and that's why these influencers, whether you love it or not,
No.
Yeah.
become these, you know, these people that people overly obsess about because they have this audience that they're trying to tap into. And it's good and bad. It's like anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's taken too far because you might have somebody who's been working with ideas and all of this
Yeah.
stuff, and they kind of can't break through. But then you have this influencer who, pulls his pants down
Overnight.
and runs around in the woods. I don't know,
Eats ice cream.
right? Whatever. But there's you can utilize each other's talents if you're and smart enough and know how to kind of navigate that. But it is tough, and also social media and marketing is changing every single day. So what we could be talking about right now tomorrow could be totally different. It's like the film world in general.
It's
how,
terrible.
How many times has it changed from when you
From when I started out
to now? Right?
Well, first of all, when I started out, it was a little after silent films. But anyway,
It was about that time.
no, but it was the Panavision Panaflex cameras.
And that's the greatest cameras.
It was, the big giant film cans.
Really?
That would go on. The mags were this big back then.
The Planet of the Apes.
And lighting. So it's like Michael said, back in the day, you had to turn the room around. Like, say we're shooting this way, right? So the lighting is behind us.
Right.
We want to shoot that way now and get the coverage. You have to turn the whole fucking room around.
Yeah.
Lights, grips, this. We used to call it, we used to call it Three Monkeys Trying to Fuck a Coconut because there was people everywhere. Can I use that? No, probably not. All right, let me try
Breakin'
another one.
Ballz.
Cut that. It was assholes and elbows, basically. Everybody's on top of each other.
Yeah,
Really. And it was insane. And it took, on a normal day, it would probably take 12 hours. And I'd say maybe you get 6 hours of shooting, and in 6 hours was technical, turning the camera around, relighting, blah, blah, blah. Now, dude, you could use that on a ditch
crazy.
and just go like this, and this, and be out of the shot.
Like back then, even you're talking about the lights, right? Which we still kind of use the hot lights, like they call them. Like now, everything's LED. It's
You
all
don't use
cool,
those
it's
big
whatever.
10Ks, right?
No, not. I mean, we've used.
Yeah, you used them.
Yeah, but not normally. No, but like everything's LEDs now, right? So everything's and I remember watching. We were on one of these projects, and the gaffer had a panel. He's just sitting there changing like all on his tablet, and they're all changed. It's like wild,
Wow. that's
wild.
Saves your money.
Crazy how it's changed. But to your point with the marketing,
Yeah.
you always have to be kind of on it. And even the way the marketing is with social media, like Instagram changes their algorithms all the time and how you can get through. Now they used to reward you for posts. Now they're rewarding for you how many times you post and also for video. It used to just be pictures. Now it's all video and short. If you're longer, they'll kind of they'll downstep it or whatever their
That's what
term
sucks.
is.
You got to be
Yeah.
shorter, right?
You want to be short, like 20 to 45 seconds, under a
Yeah.
minute for sure. And again, the collaboration is huge that they just did, and they want you to use their new features. So anything that they're doing that's new that us will sit here like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
You
like,
better
we-
like that.
we
Jump on and learn
try
it
it.
because that's what they're
Yeah.
going to push. They're going to push their reels. They're going to push their stories.
Well, I noticed that on Instagram. You want to keep it under, if you can, a minute.
Yeah, you want to keep it under.
But if you
and
could do
flashy.
like 15 seconds, that I really
That's
haven't
TikTok crap, though.
Yeah,
And I hate
but that's
TikTok.
kind of where they're headed, which is
Exactly.
I can't stand
But
TikTok.
do you guys remember Vine?
Yeah, I
that?
remember
that,
Vine.
That was
Yeah.
like I loved
remember
Vine.
Vine.
Did
But
you?
it was the same vibe of like
It was- it
short
just
and then
didn't-
it would disappear.
But that's
You know what
why
I
it
mean?
didn't. That's why it didn't last because
Yeah.
it disappeared.
Yeah.
Because that was a different
couldn't
thing.
rewatch and
but
rewatch, yeah.
but that's what it was. Is like
Yeah.
with TikTok, it's the same. It's exactly the same, except
Yeah.
now they just stay and you could watch it over and over and
Exactly.
over and over and over.
Exactly.
And it's the best, like on TikTok. See, you got guys with their wives or with the girlfriends, they'll clean their house in a negligee, and they'll be like, oh, and they've been doing, cleaning the windows, showing their butt, and they get so many hits. It's like crazy.
Well, no, you are right. They show a lot of skin. You see girls in bikinis, and that kind
but
of
that's
stuff
not
drives
new.
me.
That don't act like that's
it's not new, but it does drive me nuts
Skin is
because
skin.
No, and
what's
we love
going on
skin,
over here?
but when you
16,000
could just
views?
show
I know.
your skin, and then you got someone that's really honing their craft, and they're not getting the notice because you're not showing your skin. You know
So
what
maybe
I mean?
you got to show more skin.
If
Start
I
doing
was-
these shows.
If I was
start
30
doing
years
these
old,
shows
40
topless.
years old again,
Negligee,
I would
let's
be
see
out there
it.
with my shirt
You gotta
off.
have no shirt on, Johnny. Start doing.
Now
the
I'll be
shows.
sitting there like Yogi Bear.
No, it's again, it's all
The
clickbait.
MILFs.
It's all clickbait.
Yeah.
is all it is. And sometimes they'll put a still image at the beginning of it. That's not even what the video is.
Right.
Just for you to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And
I
if you
saw
pause
that.
it, that's
What is
another
that?
thing. Because if you go back and rewind on your phone, you hold it, and that changes the algorithm.
Wow.
Because it shows engagement.
It's just so crazy.
So it's all these ways that these influencers or these marketing people or these TikTokers or whatever you want to call them, they learn these little nuances
Yeah.
of how to trick the algorithm to now make their videos get 2 million views or whatever. You know,
And all those videos that I've been studying, and I'm sure if you watch them, and you know a lot about this, but they tell there's so many videos up there that tell you how to try to go viral. Everyone has their own technique,
Right.
And as you said, everything changes. So if they're an older video and people are watching, and I caught myself watching stuff that were a year older, and it wasn't even relevant to what was
Right.
going on now,
yeah.
right?
It's so true. You know what I mean? And that's why it's look, a lot of it is, of course, there is a science to it, but a lot of it too is luck. You know what I mean? There is a huge thing of luck that's kind of involved, of hitting whatever this silly thing is that they're doing at the right moment, at the right time. And, that's why I kind of like the other thing. I like the hard work of
that's
creating a
different.
story
Yep.
and doing something, that will last the test of time, as opposed to these videos and these trends that'll come and go. And that's why there's so many of them, but they disappear.
We were talking about that. Only so many people are going to last. It's like, let's say a band that lasts for 5 years and then they go strong and then they're done. Only like the Stones, they lasted for what, 65 years?
60.
Yeah, longer than that. 63. 63 they came out.
So yeah, they're 60-something years.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I think they're done though. I do.
they're almost there. My mother always makes fun of them. She's like, look at them.
No, that's amazing. I mean, you can rock until like your bones don't
Rock
work
till you
anymore.
drop.
Mick
Man.
Jagger looks like
Seriously.
he's like a caveman, but he's 81 and he still runs around the stage
Yeah, with
faster
his
than
tight
some of the
pants.
guys I know.
I have
Come
to ask you a
on.
question, Michael. So
Yeah.
I'm doing this 4+ decades, 43 years about. I think I'm in the Screen Actors Guild 42. I have worked pretty good. I've had a pretty good life career. What drives me nuts is I have over 20 hours of tape, and so does Lou Martini, with A-list actors. Like we've been in scenes with A-listers, not B-listers, A-listers. And they don't look at our tape anymore. We still have to go out and audition like I started 40 years ago. And that I find the most frustrating because I finally make it up to veteran status. I finally make it up to status of being a veteran old school actor. And I still got to go out there and grind. Like they still have me auditioning for gangster roles.
Yeah.
I've been in every gangster film,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane, and it's true. And I got a buddy, the same thing, and he left the industry a little bit, and when he came back, he was petrified of what the industry had
Yeah.
become.
Oh, it
Because when
changed.
he left. I mean, this guy was hot. He was working with Pierce Brosnan. I mean,
Yeah,
A-listers.
wow.
He leaves to kind of raise a family a little bit and comes
Yeah,
back, and now all of a sudden he's hearing self-tapes and has no idea what that is.
Horrible.
You don't go into a casting office to meet. It's all through this.
Yeah.
You
Zoom
don't get
and-
direction.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Yeah, I
it's
used
tough.
to like going in. You meet the casting
Yeah, it's the
directors.
best.
You meet
Yeah, I
the
still like
writer. You meet the
operating.
producer.
I still like
Yeah.
operating that way too. I mean, again, you have to kind of roll with what the times are to an extent to kind of move. But at some point, I still love doing that. I try to get through the initial wave of the tapes that come in, but then eventually, if you were going to cast someone the star of your movie, or even in your movie, not even the star, you want to sit down, you want to see if you jive, you want to see what kind of person they are, because when
Yeah.
you're on set with these, you know how it is. You're living,
But
breathing,
what I'm
sleeping,
gotta be
everything.
confused about.
Yeah.
Okay, say you're going to put something in the breaks on Actors Access, and you're looking for a guy, say 40 years old, supporting role. You probably get how many submissions? 1,000?
Yeah.
How are you watching 1,000 tapes?
Yeah,
You're
no,
not.
you're not. You're not. You're
Okay.
going off of, well, for me, you're going off of a few things. Like, obviously, you look at reels, you look at the look that you think, it's all subjective, that you think
Yeah,
might
but
fit
you're the
that
one
character.
that aren't you the one that told casting I'm interested in them?
Right, yeah.
So that should really narrow it down.
So narrows
also.
it down, yeah. So you're not getting 1,000 tapes, but you might get 20 tapes, 10 tapes, something
Oh, that's
like
it?
that. I mean, it depends. It depends on the role, but yeah, they'll narrow it down from there. And then maybe you go, okay, once you see those 20 tapes, you'll say, all right, give me the 10 people, bring them in. And then it kind of goes from there. But also, you're looking at resume. At least for me, I'm looking at resume. And the
Yeah.
top people, if Amy's looking at resume,
And that's
you want to see
important.
what they've done before.
Yep.
Right? And also, you're looking at their reel. And, so, I can't speak for everyone. I just know how I do it. I'm a little more old school. I'm a little more
Well, that's
old
where you
soul
should
with it.
be.
Yeah.
That's just how I
I
operate.
think the final casting decision should be even Zoom. Okay, Zoom at least. I see you.
Yep.
You see me.
Yeah.
And you say, Gary, bring it up a notch. Gary, take it down a notch. Let's do it this way. Let's do it. I miss that.
Yeah.
You
Because
know what I
also
mean?
that's how you discover it. And you can see, can they take direction? How do you like the director? And maybe something happens that wasn't in the script that all of a sudden you're like, I liked how that happened. Let's
Well,
bring
that
it to
always
tape.
had. That's
Yeah.
called. I always call that magic.
Yeah.
Magic happens on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, but
nothing
I'm
better
with you
than
though.
that.
You got like the chemistry, whatever, like feeling that out,
That's
and the
true.
vibe is
That
like
too.
huge
Yeah.
because
Chemistry with the actor. Yep.
somebody could see your tape and love your tape,
Yep.
and then you come in and you're a total asshole. It's like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
And
like-
you
I
would've
hate
figured
that.
and you would have figured that out
Yes.
in the cast.
But like Mike too,
Exactly, in
and
the
Gary
room, no.
and Concetta, you could do 5, 6, 7 takes and make your best take and send it. How good are you going to do it on the first take with you? Like if you're going to audition, because anyone could do that and make it great, right?
yeah.
But-
Yeah.
And when you put them,
Look, there's pros and cons to everything because that is another thing. It's like you can do it a bunch of
Over and
times
over
over and
and
over and
over,
send
yeah.
it in.
Mhm.
But there is still a magic of being in the room and
I missed that.
being able to kind of organically work through it. But like it's like anything
butterflies
else.
in your stomach.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it. Listen, I totally get it. I do. I see both parts of it. I just think there's a middle ground, and I try to operate in that middle ground because I think that's how you get the best result.
That makes sense. I don't, again, I don't mind doing it, but there's so much involved. I got to set up a backdrop.
I know.
Trying to find somebody to read with me. I got lucky I had Bobby Finaro read with me
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And,
Oh, wow.
that's a pro.
That
So
is
a buddy
bad.
of mine, Jeffrey Combs. I don't know if you if you're familiar. He was in the Reanimator, right? And he was in the Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. I mean, this guy's a veteran actor, right? He goes, I didn't know when I was going to be an actor that now how many years later I'm also a makeup artist. I'm a DP. I'm a
Oh,
grip. I'm a
yeah.
get because for his self tapes.
Yeah.
And even he's got to do the auditions.
Right.
It's just a totally different world, and I think that's also just from the market with the sales agents and things like that. Back in the day, the way the audience went, if you had a star in your movie, you had face recognition and stuff, you were guaranteed at least you're going to make your money back. Nowadays, there's so much saturation out there. They try to crunch numbers and run things, and it's like they're running things on like John Travolta, and it's like, is he going to make me money back? Like,
Yeah.
I've talked to these sales agents, and they're like, that it's all trying to mitigate the risk as much as they can. They turn it into this math equation.
Even in films that
Wow.
were in the $1.5 million range, I still hear they want some kind of an A-lister. And I don't know how you're going to get an A-lister unless he's going to get half of your
Right.
$1.5 million.
But then even the A-listers, then they want, let's run the numbers
Yeah.
of okay, do they work in this market? They sell really well here. I mean, I get it's a very risky business, so you try to mitigate it as much as you can. But the problem is also this business is a non-traditional kind of business too, and there's magic that happens, and you got to kind of just let the pieces spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. Especially me. Here I am. I'm at the twilight of my life, and I want to get some projects made, and it's tough. And then you're in a room with these potential investors, and then you hear the horror stories because I'm not going to mention names, but there's some guys out there that have raised
Yeah.
large amounts of money, and like I know this one character, he raised 16, 17 million, and from what I understand, he hasn't even broken the $1 million
Yeah, it's scary.
threshold yet.
It's scary.
So it's like,
That's why it's scary.
how did he get away with it? How do you get away with it?
It's scary. That's why we try to keep our budgets, nothing safe, obviously, and it's all
Especially
it's all
with-
subjective. But we try to keep our budgets in that lower range to try to. That's how we mitigate our risk. Is saying how can we shoot something, get the most out of it. But also that does hurt too because now you're not able to go for some of the A-listers that you might feel the
But let me
movies.
ask you this question: with what you've done with 3 films, which is astronomical, aren't you more in a driver's seat that you could sit with any investor and say,
For sure.
aren't they more willing to talk to you?
No,
You
they
have
are.
a
Listen,
great track record.
and we do, and that's not.
Yeah.
That part's not really the hard part anymore to sit down with the investors, but then also it's great, you've done this, but now this is not that. And then you get, I understand
Yeah.
it's not
But you've
that,
also proven your self-distribution.
yeah.
Did you four-wall the
No.
Terrify? You didn't have to.
No, we didn't. No,
You
yeah,
already
we
had a
did it.
built-in audience.
Yeah, we had a built-in audience,
Yeah.
and then we worked with Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting. They're like Bloody Disgusting is this
Never even heard
marketing,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we worked with them, and it's we didn't have to do that. Stream too. We went full blown self distribution like ourselves. There was no distribution, no nothing, absolutely zero. And we did it ourselves. We worked with this company, Iconic, which brought it to the theaters as an event
Yeah.
at first, and
Wow.
then if you get people that like start showing up, they'll extend you. So it's kind of like a backdoor way in.
Yeah.
And but we're lucky because we have a fan base that likes our content, that trusts us with
Yeah.
what we're doing. we've gained that trust, and that's why for us it's so important to make sure that we constantly deliver. We're always trying to put our best foot forward for them because they really gave us a career. They keep showing up.
I missed your opening at the Atrium. When was that? The last one you had?
Was it the Stream one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on vacation, but I was mad. I was like, I really wanted to go.
Yeah, it was cool. We sold that out. That was really fun.
I would have went. You didn't invite me.
Well, now the next one will be
now you're on the Levy list.
Yeah, on the list.
He'll either leave you or he'll invite you.
I would take the cheddar. You didn't invite us.
That's not fair, though. because
So, Mike,
that's-
listen.
I'm only teasing.
We want you to come back when the new films come out, and you're always part of my late night family, and you're part of the Breakin Ballz family now, and you're a Staten Islander. Where can people find you on the internet, social media, website?
Yeah, you could find me through the easiest is through my company, Fuzz in the Lens, and you could find me Michael Levy. You'll see it right through there. My handle it's everywhere at Michael Levy or at Mike Levy, but mostly Fuzz in the Lens. And then you'll see everything from Stream through Terrifier. I just made a pitch to Lionsgate and Blumhouse because they're looking for a new director to do the Leprechaun movie. And as I mentioned, I
big.
love
let's put that
Leprechaun.
out there. Let's
And
put
so
I'm
that
going to
out
put it
there.
out there for you.
I
buddy.
shot
that's
a
awesome.
short proof of concept. I got Mark Holton,
Mint.
the original Ozzy. He's a friend of mine. He came and did it and reprised his character as
Wow.
Ozzy. We had one of the guys, Lyndon Porco, played Leprechaun in the later films, not Warwick Davis. He came and played, and we sent it to them, and they liked it. The fans liked it. So we'll see what
That's
happens.
awesome.
The original director just passed away.
Was,
Great guy,
was there a
Mark
lot of
Jones, who went on
CGI in Leprechaun?
No,
Not at all?
There was very little. There was obviously because there's magical powers.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking
but it was
about.
in the '90s and it was very low budget. So it's
that horrible CGI.
yeah, very, very, very low budget stuff. But the director of the original just passed, and he was really interested in rebooting the franchise. So want to do something really cool to honor Mark Jones and bring
That's funny.
back his thing. So yeah,
That's
I think it'll do
awesome.
very well. I think you're
Yeah.
you're onto
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
You're
I
onto
see
It's
a-
something.
funny,
see
gory,
that.
and just a
Yeah.
good time.
I see a lot of good things for you in the future, Mike, but thank you so much, buddy. You've always been a
Thank you for
gentleman.
having me.
Mikey,
Great
Can't
seeing you
meet
guys.
you.
Yes, fist pump.
Garry Pastore, I'll be seeing you soon, right?
next week, Laz.
And Concetta Rose.
Sir.
And I'm Johnny P. You can follow us on all podcast platforms, social media. Come on, we need help here. We need followers. You're following all those other
We're desperate
knuckleheads
people.
on the internet.
Yeah, follow us. What
Follow
the
us.
hell?
Come on, we're the old
We're here,
school.
look.
All right? And remember, like I always say, it's always nice to be nice. It really is. But whose balls could you break this week? Good night.
Breaking Balls with Johnny P.
What are you breaking my balls for?